Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. If you're new here, if you're not, thank you so much for stopping back by. My channel is all about my personal finance journey through debt, savings, and budgeting. So if those things sound cool to you, go ahead and stick around. You could subscribe, you could like or comment if you want to be nice to me. And with that, we will get into it. Today, I am talking about my October budget. So how am I going to spend the money that's coming in? This month, I do not have plans for any extra income or ways to make any. So yeah, it's going to be a regular income month in the beginning of fall, which is stressful for me because I love fall and I want to do fall stuff. So I wish I had more money coming in to be able to do that and still meet my financial goals. But this is going to be one of those months that it's harder than others to really focus my money towards what my actual goals are. In the long run, I'll be happy about it, but for now, it's hard. So let's dive into my spreadsheet here, and we'll go over what I'm spending my money on. So at the top here, you can see my housing and utilities, my kind of fixed costs is what I like to put at the top. So first up, I've got my mortgage payment, which I do pay half of the mortgage payment, and that does include our PMI and insurance, and that's $446.43. Then electricity, I pay half of the electric bill, but it varies every month. So I always budget 100 because we are always under 200 typically. Hopefully it stays that way, but we'll see. Water, again, I pay half, so it's $10.18 and that never changes. And then internet, I pay $45 a month for our home Wi-Fi. And then trash, I pay half, and that is $28 a month, so $14 for me. For my phone bill, I have Straight Talk. I do a 5 gigabyte plan because I use Wi-Fi 90% of the time, and that is $37.89, so it never changes. I even was able to get a new phone and still haven't needed to use much more data, so I'm sticking with that lower plan to save money. Next up, I have my propane. This is actually a sinking fund, but I put it up there because it is non-negotiable. It is a cost that has to happen every month. Otherwise, I won't have the money to pay for propane when we do have to buy it, which if you haven't seen my videos before, just know that our propane costs feel astronomical when they come up because we have a 400-gallon tank and it takes a lot of money to fill that thing. So we spent about $1,300 in August. So I definitely need to save at least $60 a month to be able to cover one fill, let alone a pre-buy fill, which is just $60 a month is going towards propane. Next up, we have my auto section. I only put two things here, which is my insurance and my fuel costs. So for insurance, I have State Farm and I'm checking out $99.23. That's full coverage for my Jeep and liability for my Subaru. So pretty good there. Then fuel costs, I'm leaving at $115 as I have for a couple of months now. There has been more driving because I've been at the office once or twice a month, and that alone takes quite a bit of fuel for me. And then just picking up groceries and things like that, fuel. So doing good at $115. I haven't really gone over too bad, so I'm leaving it there. Next up, we have my debt section. This is where I'm paying off my Jeep loan. So first things first is my regular monthly payment of $443.83. Now, fun fact, I used to let my extra payments be the exact amount of the loan payment, and then it would move the due date forward. So I don't actually owe anything for 9 months. I'm 9 months ahead, but I stopped doing that in 2020 because I just wanted to make principal only payments once it became an option to do that online. At first it wasn't. I had to mail my checks. So now that it's an option to just do principal only, I'll do variable payments. So that's cool, but just a little fun fact about my journey to pay off my Jeep. Next up, we have my extra auto loan payment, which is set to be $650 for October. Now, this is where it gets hard because if ever I overspend somewhere else, the first place I take it from is my debt payments, my extra debt payments, because that's money that I do not have to spend. Like I said, I don't even owe money on my Jeep for 9 more months. So if ever there's an emergency and I just have to overspend, it's coming out of there. And I hate doing that because I really, really want to pay this off. So y'all have seen there have been months where I did have to dip into it, whether it was to pay on the house or I was just irresponsible. So I'm really hoping I can stick to this in October, but it's going to be really tough. And then the next thing here is my student loan payment is set to 0 because $150 of the extra auto loan payment goes into is supposed to be my student loan payment. So I put it into the auto payment because student loans are still in forbearance for Americans. Life is good. Next up is my food section, and I have $150 set for groceries, which is typically enough. And then personal fast food, that's if I'm out and I want to stop at T-Bell by myself, $10 because Travis does not like to go to Taco Bell very often. And then eating out together is like $50 so that I can have at least one meal with Travis out where I pay. And food, it really depends. Like some months I'll end up spending less, some months I spend more in the grocery department, mostly because it just depends on if Travis goes on like certain trips. So like sometimes it's just more convenient for me to stop and get some food, or it's more convenient for him. So it's just variable in that way. It's not like we don't share the cost of food. We totally do. It just depends on like who stops and gets the food, you know? So anyway, I do expect that to be like pretty close to what I want it to be. But anywho, next up is my savings section, my favorite section, because it's the money that I am not shoveling out. I'm building it up. So first things first is my Roth IRA through Fidelity. I put in $100 a month, and I'm happy to say I've successfully done that every single month this year, and I am doing that again. Next up is Home Projects Fund. So I am actually really excited, you guys, because we finally got some motivation. I don't know where it came from, probably something I'll talk about in just a minute, but we have it and we're doing stuff to our house again. Like y'all, we have a 1,700 square foot house and we bought it and took possession in July of 2020 and started working on it. We got about halfway done by October and had moved in September. And once we hit that halfway mark, all ships sailed on motivation. Neither of us could do it. We just didn't have it in us anymore. We ended up having his dad stay for a little while in December, and then he ended up actually coming back this last April too, and he did so much of our tile work for us. But other than that, we really haven't done anything since that first couple months. So we're so excited to have some motivation again and get back to work. So I still have been putting $100 towards home projects for months now. That has just been sitting there. And I'm excited to be able to spend it on some flooring maybe soon, or like some new light fixtures or something, because we're finally working on the last half of the house that needs it. It's essentially an entryway room and a living room. But the entryway room is like 100 square feet. So it's not like small, but it's also like not usable for anything else because it's a doorway. So anyway, that is where we're at. I'm just really excited to announce that we are doing things on our house again. But next up, we have my auto maintenance fund, and I'm not putting anything in there. For the last 2 months, I've saved quite a bit into my auto maintenance. I think August was over 300, and September, hopefully I'll be able to put over 600 into that account. And I have 2 things that need to get done, and we just have not been able to schedule them and get the cars in the shop. My Jeep needs new like bumpers to be powder coated, and then my car needs to be fixed of an oil leak, but we need to narrow it down before we put it in the shop, or they're gonna like charge me like crazy. So nothing new is going in there, but I do have quite a bit in there. So hopefully some auto maintenance gets done one of these days. And then new phone fund, I bought a phone in September, so I don't have to worry about saving money for that for a while. Hopefully at least a year I can make this phone work. It's a good phone. I'm very excited about it. I'll talk about that in my budget review for September. And then vacation fund, $25 this month. I wish I could afford to put more into that fund because I have 2 weddings I'm in 2022, and that is like right around the corner. It's crazy. And I am just ecstatic to be a part of my girls' big days, and I want to have the money to do it, you know? Like I want to not even have to think about the money of the bachelorette trip that's left and the 2 wedding days. Like I want to be able to be all in, no reservations financially. So hopefully I can start saving a little more next month or maybe January, but for now, 25. And then gifts fund, I have 15 going in there. I usually spend it throughout the month on gifts for somebody's birthday or whatever. So last month I spent it. So this month we'll see. And then for household maintenance, I have $50 going in there, and I do that almost every month. And then emergency fund, $50. So in my savings section, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I do wish I could put more towards vacation and hope that I can actually save this gifts money, but I don't see that being saved. I see that being spent this month. Not for anybody's birthday, but I will get to it. So next up, we have entertainment. These costs never change, so I'm just going to reveal them all real quick. I've got Spotify, Prime, CBS All Access, which I think is called Paramount Plus now. I don't know. But Hulu and podcast. So just paying them. I'm just paying them. Done. And then for miscellaneous, I put my like expenses for dog food and treats there. I actually spent like more on the dog last month. So this month, I don't think I'll have to buy very much because I bought a 50-pound bag of dog food, and we've only gone through like not even a quarter of it, and it's the end of the month. So that's going to last well into the month. And then it's Trav's turn to buy some dog food. So I'm probably just going to buy him like a little duck toy or treats. So That's it there. And then household items, I always put $50 and it usually covers me. I try to schedule like when I buy in bulk for certain items each month. So this month I think is going to be a Brita filter month. So I'm excited because I like to keep my Brita going. Personal spending, this is where it gets fun. So in personal spending, I am trying my best not to spend any money on myself other than a $65 fee to sign up for a half marathon that I'm training for. That is going to be tough because I am so bad at not buying things for myself once in a while, like clothes or whatever, like as well, because I normally try to have 50 in my miscellaneous at minimum, and then I'm putting in another 15 there to cover fall stuff. So my partner and I, Travis, we actually hosted our first chili cook-off with our family and friends last year, and we're doing it again this year. And so I want to make sure I've got a little bit of money to buy a few decorations, like tablecloths, things like that. Some like little bowls and stuff. I want to be able to offer a prize again. Last year, the prize I thought was pretty good, but we will try to do even better this year and have prizes for first, second, and third. So I want to make sure I have some money for that stuff. So pretty much that whole 65 is probably going to go towards our chili cook-off expenses. And I am happy with that. So it's going to be a tight month just because there's not really any wiggle room in most of my expenses I've listed here. So we will see. Maybe I can make some extra money somehow. That would be the way to like give myself some wiggle room. So next up, I'll go into my income, and this is not going to be shocking. So I have 2 paychecks I expect to get at $1,400 each take home pay. And that's it. So, yep, that's it with my income. So this brings me to my wiggle room of $4.48. I technically zero-based budget, I guess, but I don't like to, I like to budget by the fives. So the only things I budget by the exact amount cent-wise is if I know that's exactly what will come out of my bank account. But like gas, I'm not going to budget to the cent. That's silly. But I know that my auto insurance is 23 cents. So anyway, I don't like to take the balance like leftover and put that somewhere because I typically need it for like wiggle room. So anyway, I've got $4.48 of wiggle room this month, and that's a little scary. So hopefully it goes well. But that's about it. That is my budget. I'm really excited for October because I love fall. I love our chili cook-off. I love seeing our family, and we'll just see how it goes. Wish me luck, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good morning, noon, or night, whatever it is for you.